Well, hey guys, hope that you're well and hope that you're enjoying going through the book of Acts. It's a cool book. It's right after the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, and then we see him appearing to many folks, and just as Ryan often says, it's proof that our what we believe is not some kind of abstract thought that somebody came up with, or some kind of weird vision that somebody had in the woods somewhere, but rather is based on actual historical truths. And the book of Acts shows us some of that. But then we also get to see what the early church looked like. It's like, okay, Jesus was here, he had his ministry, and this whole thing happens with this exchange of our sin that he takes on and gifts us his righteousness. And now what? Well, we're all sent. Okay, but what does that look like? And so we get to see, the Spirit just guiding people in just a really cool way in the book of Acts. So we're in Acts chapter 9, verses 32 to the end of chapter 9, 43. So it says this: Peter went off on a mission to visit all the churches. In the course of his travels, he arrived in Lydda and met with the believers there. He came across a man, his name was Aeneas, and he had been paralyzed for 8 years. Peter said, "Aeneas, Jesus Christ heals you. Get up and make your bed." And he did it. He jumped right up out of bed. Everyone who lived in Lydda and Sharon saw him walking around and woke up to the fact that God was alive and active among them. It's awesome. Down the road away in Joppa, there was a disciple named Tabitha, a gazelle in our language. She was well known for doing good and helping out. And during the time that Peter was in the area, she became sick and died. Her friends prepared the body for burial and put her in a cool room. Some of the disciples had heard that Peter was visiting in nearby Lydda and sent 2 men to ask if he would be so kind to come over. Peter got right up and went with them. They took him to the room where Tabitha's body was laid out. Her old friends, most of them widows, were in the room mourning. They showed Peter pieces of clothing that she had made while she was with them. And Peter put all the widows out of the room. He knelt and prayed. Then he spoke directly to the body and said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes. When she saw Peter, she sat up. He took her hand and helped her up. And then he called in the believers and the widows and presented her to them alive. When this became known all over Joppa, many put trust in the master. Peter stayed a long time with Joppa as a guest of Simon the tanner. Just such a crazy thing, right? We just see the Spirit moving in a mighty way. I love the fact that the first thing that we see when Simon's talking to the guy that's paralyzed says, "Get up, now make your bed." Just like, it's probably just good advice in general. You get up and that's what you should do. But the bed was, what the paralyzed person was connected to. Everyone in the area knew the man that was there on the bed. The way that they would typically survive if you're in that scenario is you'd be a beggar, right? And so this person jumps up, and not only is he thrilled that he's able to walk again, but just what that means for that person. He's likely able to work again, to travel again, to do all the things that he wouldn't have been able to do during that time. And then this crazy scene where we see Tabitha has died and is brought back to life, and just looking at these two scenes and just thinking, so who was this for? Was this for the paralyzed man? Did this happen for him? And then for Tabitha, did this happen for her? But we also see in the text that many people in the region came to know just who Christ was, and the fact that he's alive and still working and putting their faith in there. So was this work done just for those two folks, no. But it certainly was done for them. We have a loving Father that knows their needs and knows where they're at, knows the situations, and can move in such a way to even bring people back to life. And so just, certainly they were blessed by that, but also he uses that to bless the magnitudes of folks around them. And, I think sometimes in my own walk, I kind of ask questions, the why, why did this happen? Whether it's something that's been a blessing to me and my family. Okay, so, many of you, we just, purchased a house that we're renovating. Okay, so why do we get this specific house in this specific neighborhood? And, and I don't think that there's one specific answer for that. I think sometimes when we think along those lines, we can be narrow-minded and try to pinpoint what the Lord's doing, when in reality, he's working always in infinite amount of ways. And the few connections that we get to see of how he's working are certainly blessings, but it's the way that he moves is so much deeper than that. And we serve a God that's just in control of all, which is something that's really encouraging during a time of pandemic and just the possible the fallout is the only word that comes to mind from the election. Some people are going to be thrilled, other people are certainly not, and just tensions are going to rise from there. And but we serve a God that uses it all, and that's just super encouraging to me. So yeah, hope that's encouraging to you as well. Hope that you're enjoying Acts like I said earlier, and yeah, have a great day.